Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to the Warcraft replay here. This is going to be a tournament game. Yeah, every so often I do delve into tournaments. This one, I just looked at the replay and just figured it was, or just saw it was from a tournament. This tournament, in fact, is not something I actually follow. It's called Netease Esports X. I have no idea what it's about. I cursed when I was on spectator. Okay, here we go. So yeah, we're in spectator mode and we won't have to suffer with the loud pinging noises. Music sounds kind of loud for my headphones. Let's just turn that down a little bit. Obviously it won't actually come through with the video, but anyway, this is one of the playoff matches. I think it's quarterfinals. Now that I look at the overlay, I have no idea why I didn't actually specify that, but it doesn't really matter too much because I'm not going to cast the remainder of this series. I just saw it was a pretty lengthy Warden game, and I really like Warden games, and there is that. Been playing a lot of Warden myself on Reforged. Night Off is out. Apparently replays are out as well, but for me it always crashes whenever I click the replay button, and I haven't really found anything to try and fix that, so I'll just have to wait for the next patch. Maybe it will get addressed then. But either way, back to this game. We have LawLiet spawning in as the red Night Elf player in the bottom right, and we have Infi spawning in as the blue human player in the top left. LawLiet apparently seems to be one of the very few Night Elf players playing Warden these days, and yeah, I am thankful for that.
Players' forces are under attack.
We are on the map Terenas Stand, relatively small map. Despite being small, we do have a fairly good number of camps for the Warden to thrive in, so it's pretty decent. And yet again, we have another small map that is fairly resulting in some long-ass games. That was a bit of a mistake, it seems, from LawLiet. He lost the
Players' forces
experience of that first Renegade Wizard over to... I have actually no idea what stole the experience. The Ancient War was not attacking camp, that particular creep monster, if I was sure about that, and I'm pretty sure the peasant wasn't actually anywhere near, so I have absolutely no idea what he lost that wizard to. But either way, level 2 is going to get acquired for both heroes regardless. Mountain King versus Warden. Pretty offensive first picks here from both sides. We did see the Warden casting Fan of Knives. Most likely has Blink as her second ability. Fan of Knives, over the recent years, has appeared to be the go-to ability for the Warden. I guess the AoE is just that crucial. Obviously it deters humans from going. A lot of squishy units, such as the spellcasters, spellbreakers, seem to be rushed a lot earlier, and yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if the Warden will retain her value in the late game, because yeah, spellbreakers obviously can't really get affected by the spell damage of her abilities, so I think she's just gonna have to try and rush level 6 as quickly as possible. I don't even know if the Avatar Vengeance can even get stolen by the Spellbreaker or not. I don't think so, since it is an ultimate ability. It doesn't seem logical for that to happen, but you never know. Warden did pick up the Scourge Bone Chimes from this Goblin Lab camp. Is going to get surrounded a little bit, but we'll break this surround, as it seems like Infi wanted to save his footman rather than keeping that surround going. Is going to give over the footman kill to the Warden, and of course level 3 as well. Stormbolt is going to claim the Shadow Priest's life there for the Mountain King, and one mana stealing being used to try and prevent the Mountain King from doing Stormbolt shenanigans here, but yeah, the wand is not that great when it comes to the amount of mana getting stolen. Regardless, TP Scroll is going to be used to mitigate the damage coming in from the impending Stormbolt. Town Hall is going to get fast built here. Obviously, the pressure has been applied to LawLiet's side, so the expansion was basically free. And with the Arcane Tower coming out, the Warden might get deterred from harassing. It's going to be pretty hard to tell, since the Arcane Tower doesn't do that much damage. It only like feedback damage on the mana prevents her from blinking. So the TP staff in the inventory should be crucial. It's kind of hard to tell at this point because it is a TP staff into a Mountain King who can obviously interrupt it, unlike the Archmage who can't. Level 3 Warden is trying to get level 4 as quickly as possible. She did show Shadow Strike on one of those footmans there, so might have dabbled into all 3 abilities, which obviously is kind of costly in terms of mana used. We are seeing the Warden trying to claim as many items as possible, not really clearing out the remainder of the creep camps. Broke Wizard is going to drop another item. Hopefully it is a +3 intelligence or something of the sorts. It is just going to be another Gloves of Haste. Not bad, but definitely some sort of attribute would have been more desirable. Agility for damage or intelligence for just extra mana. You can see that Fan of Knives doing a boatload of damage. That is definitely level 2 Fan of Knives there. Ancient of Wonders trying to be built, but with Mountain King about, it is seemingly a little difficult to get that going. Another Shadow Strike is going to get cast there. That is going to prevent her from going for another Fan of Knives. Tree of Eternity is trying to be rushed as double Ancient of Laws into Mass Dryads. Pretty common strategy for a Warden nowadays. It used to be Mass Huntresses, but I actually have no idea what prompt players from going into just Mass Dryad straight away, but I do definitely like this transition a lot more than just Huntresses. You can see here that the Wisp is trying to keep this Mountain King in the base. It's going to cost a lot of mana on that Moonwell, and the TP staff is just going to be used instead. Warden, not really realistic in trying to burst down that Mountain King, who I believe had like 300 health, 400 health, and yeah, no CC whatsoever to cancel that, so yeah, that is just going to be that. Lots of items going to get sold here, both the gloves and I actually have no idea what the third item was, but the Scourge Bone Charm is going to get kept, which is rather interesting. Since this is going to be Mass Dryads, the Lifesteal Aura kind of only affects the Warden herself. Of course, late game we could be seeing Mountain Giants being added to the fray here, but yeah, surprised to see the Lifesteal Aura being kept for just so few units. Either way, we have a Zephyr coming in, I guess. Just stole it from LawLiet's side of the map. Shredder is going to try and fix the lumber problem, which apparently both sides are suffering from. Both players are below 100 lumber each, and Night Elves do tend to get Shredders eventually, since Wisps only get like 5 per trip. I say trip with like quotation marks because it's not technically a trip. But yeah, Wisp is going to find out that the Shredder was stolen, and that is pretty feels bad for LawLiet. We actually have bears coming out fairly early on as well, okay. That does explain the rush to tier 3. And we're gonna have Masters Training on the way. I haven't really seen too much from Infi's side here, as he is going fast tech into tier 3 himself. Obviously he's a little bit behind compared to his opponent, but he is making up for it with the second base. A lot more towers in both bases, I guess. Yeah, this is the Infi of the old days, I guess. Blacksmith being completed. I really do hope we're not going into double siege, triple siege tanks maybe. Griffin Aviator is on the way, which is a little worrisome. Dragonhook Rider is probably the most likely option, but I am not even sure if Infi is aware of those Dryads. If he does go Griffins, that is just going to be really, really bad. Because, sure, they can burn through those Druids of Claws, but in return, they're just going to get absolutely destroyed by those Dryads themselves. It's basically like the matchup between Undead, where Destroyers destroy bears, but the Dryads destroy the Destroyers back, except Undead has the Grip Fiends to combat the Dryads. So yeah, with Castle Tech, I hope we are going to see some Knights, but we do see those workshops being placed instead. Now obviously it doesn't necessarily mean tanks will be coming into the game. We could just be having those mortar teams to combat the Dryads, but yeah, a whole lot of countering each other is going on because the Warden is a very good mortar team killer. Now, whether or not she invests more ability points into Blink is a whole nother question entirely, but the Blood Mage, who, I am not sure if he dodged that Van of Knives, but either way she is going to be stopped from her pursuit on that Blood Mage for now. Yikes, a full health potion gets used just to immediately heal that guy up. We do have Knights being trained up as well. Animal training is not just yet completed, neither are those Sundering Strikes. We do have an Arcane Sanctum also being placed down, so Infi's being rather indecisive with his army comp so far. Ancient of War, I have no idea why it was that close, but it is going to get taken out. Barracks going to get destroyed very soon, and that is going to halt Knight production for the next couple of minutes. Paladin coming out to round out the trifecta of Mountain King supporting heroes. Stormbolt onto the Warden, who is level 5 by the way, needs to be a little bit careful when combating that very, very dangerous threat. She does have enough mana for another Crown of Knives, but the mana siphon coming in from the Blood Mage. Crown of Knives is going to be the last cast for the Blood Cut for the Warden, but yeah, there is still a good number of human units just not really in range of getting killed. So both sides are trying to utilize Zeppelin Micro, but obviously Infi needs to be a lot more careful since he doesn't actually have any anti-air units. Meanwhile his opponent does, so his Zeppelin can get sniped any time. Dragonok Rider, at least one is in the air, but yeah, Infi is kind of screwed right now. 50 for Infi, 61 for LawLiet, right? Is that how the supply goes? No, it's actually reversed. Infi does have the higher number, but he is kind of losing out, it seems. Dragonok Rider down to red health is going to get Sanctuary back home. The Zeppelin obviously can get attacked by the Dragonok, but now that he has been Sanctuary, he is now immobilized. Lots of red units for the Night Elf unit. We are going to have a TP score being channeled here for the Warden, so goodbye for the Night Elf units for now, but a lot of damage being dealt to the human side as well. I don't think a farm got taken down, but lots of peasants, lots of footmen. I don't think any knights got taken down, thankfully for Infi. Those are rather expensive investments here. Pretty sure Animal War training is not done. Yeah, we only have the lumber upgrade for the human side. We do have a workshop being placed down, but fingers crossed it is just for those mortar teams here. Infi, I guess, does have the luxury of a second base. He has pretty much his finger in every pie. He has the workshop, he has the barracks, he has the aviary, and he has the sanctum. He basically has all production buildings available to him. And war training is on the way, and that will affect obviously the knights, Dragonok Riders, and Griffins. Not that we have many of those on the ground just yet. Only 2 knights and a Dragonok Rider. Meanwhile, LawLiet has a good number of bears and dryads for himself. Yeah, lots of bears. That does make the lifesteal aura a lot more logical. Surprised we don't actually have any mountain giants adding to the mix here. They would be pretty good compliments to try and face those knights, in my opinion, but yeah, for now we're sticking to the Dryad Bear Train. Healing, Scroll of Healing and the Mana Pot being purchased for the Warden. No TB Scroll, so this is a rather risky endeavor for the Night Elf player. This is almost seems like do or die, because it's going to be really hard to escape without TB Scroll. But he's going to try and do it. Farm is going to get taken down. It's not enough to put Infi upside down just yet, but yeah, more farms are obviously in danger. A couple of footmen being a bit of a nuisance. We do have the siege engine, unfortunately. No anti-air upgrades just yet, but it is going to get sent over to the Night Elf base, I believe. And oh, unless it gets stopped by the Dryads. Obviously being mechanical. Actually, I guess being mechanical avoids the slow effect of the slow poison. Which seems weird. I always thought slow poison worked on statues, but I guess it doesn't work on siege engines. Sadly enough, I don't think LawLiet is equipped to deal with siege engines. No quick rushing to build those Ancient of Wars. Nope. Warden does hit level 6, and she does have the Avatar Vengeance out on the ground. Not enough bodies to make enough spirits, but that should be fixed very soon as the peasants are kind of not being microed away. Zeppelin is going to drop the siege engine right onto the gold mine, where I believe the Dryads... 2 Dryads aren't enough to actually deal with the siege engine threat. Obviously they can go after the Zeppelin, but the tank is a bit more problematic here. Knight is going to get Sanctuary back home, but obviously she can just get sniped by those Dryads since he really can't move away. Siege engine going after the Moonwells instead. We do have a bear to try and defend the base. The footmen have finally died. Now it is just the siege engine to be dealt with. Spellbreakers are also being added to the mix here, trying to steal the roar buff of those Night Elf units. Obviously they can get instantly dispelled by the abolished magic of the Dryads, but yeah, they are there to be annoying, I guess. Blood Mage is going to get Sanctuary back home. That is a bit risky. He could get Focus Fired if LawLiet actually had the health for those Dryads. The Dryads are dangerously low. Is going to force the Scroll of Healing to be used by the Warden, but that is kind of the last bit of healing that the Night Elf unit has, because you really don't want to risk Rejuvenate being stolen over by those by these Spellbreakers. Bear is going to get focused by the Mountain King, getting a good number of bash procs as well, but he actually stops attacking Bear, which is a bit weird. Avatar, dangerously low herself, needs to be a bit careful. Mana Drain is going to be attempted to be cast by the Blood Mage. Ooh, very, very quick clutch. Staff of Sanctuary. I think the healing is quick enough for the Knight to get over that. It seems like we have multiple Staffs of Sanctuaries here. Yep, double staffs for Infi, which I am a fan of. Obviously it doesn't really matter too much for LawLiet because he only has one hero, but what can you do? Avatar hasn't really proven to be all that useful, unfortunately. There's just too many bulky units to try and kill and generate corpses on, but hopefully we can convert a couple of Knights to Spirits eventually. The Avatar did wear out, but I believe duration equals cooldown, so we should be seeing her again very soon. Or maybe not, as the Warden is out of mana completely, thanks to the Blood Mage. Mana Pot is available, but she is just going to use that for another Fan of Knives. Shadow Strike, level 3 Shadow Strike in fact, being cast onto the Mountain King. Blood Mage also got Sanctuary, and that was a bit of a mistake, I think, because that just makes him immobile for the the Warden and the Dryads to just finish off. These mortar teams are kind of a bit too much to deal with, I think, for LawLiet. His Warden, sadly not shown blink just yet, so what I said about the Warden being a very good mortar team killer doesn't really apply if the Warden really can't get to those mortar teams, so that is a bit of a problem. We do have a hidden expansion on the top right, which will be completed very soon. Wisps are being transferred over. Fingers crossed not to get caught out, because those knights could definitely smell blood in the water if those wisps are seen. Bears, not many have enough mana. Oh, actually never mind, we do have a good number of bears to hopefully try and cast Rejuvenate anytime soon. There we go. But yeah, after that, that is going to be basically the bears out of mana for themselves. That is a bit of a problem. Scout machine out and about. Not sure if it's aware of the expansion on the top right, but that's going to be answered very soon regardless. This is a very scary human threat. 70 versus LawLiet's 57. Lots of bears on the ground, but I don't even know if that is going to be enough to deal with this human threat. Yeah. Stormbolt is going to get cast on one of those bears there, and I believe the Zeppelin is going to try and pick it up, but a lot of anti-air units are going to try and fix that. Thankfully only one bear was in that Zeppelin, so only one will be suffering. But yeah, this is a bit of a pickle for LawLiet. He does have the Avatar out on the ground, but Devotion Aura plus just the strong base armor of the Knights is not something that bears can tear through all that easily. I do see that as pretty much all the Knights basically got Sanctuary back home. Perhaps a little too much to chew through for Infi. Regardless, I don't think he actually lost any units. Yeah, a lot of units got saved by the Sanctuary. A lot of units, maybe even a couple of bears lost for LawLiet, so yeah, not looking good for the Knight of player in my opinion. Avatar gonna be annoying. Avatar herself needs to be a bit careful. She is not invulnerable. Spirits are. Mortar teams are just gonna get picked off as yeah, what can you do versus immortal spirits? It seems like the mortar teams are not even required, as the sheer amount of units are enough to just take down the Tree of Life here. So yeah, Tree of Eternity is going to be moved over to the expansion at the close gold mine, which honestly should have been done in the first place. This is probably not the best location to expand, since it's just a lot more difficult to defend against. It's a lot wide open, and it's more of a neutral distance between both bases, so yeah. Warden actually not proving her worth at level 7, unfortunately. Is she gonna pick up a staff? It doesn't look like it. I guess one staff is a little not enough to save all these units, but this supply disadvantage for the majority of the game is a bit troublesome. Not so many Dryads on the field, a lot of bears, no Mountain Giants, which is a bit worrisome, because I do think that Mountain Giants might be a good unit to add to the mix here, as I guess anyone would think. Yikes. You see there the shrapnel effect of the mortar teams, so fragment shards are available, and it is being a massive pain in the butt for those Dryads. Found Dice are going to pick up a couple of easy initial kills here. Double 8 onto the Warden. She should at least have an point into Blink now, so let's see that being used. Yep, there we go. Blink has shown itself finally. But is that going to be enough? Actually, lots of bears against those knights. Paladin is out of mana. He really can't save those bears aside from the sanctuaries. At the same time, those bears are basically trying to just suicidally go after these knights here. Bear count dropped to 3, knight count still at a good 3, with a couple of knights being saved thanks to the sanctuary. Warden, yikes, can't even match toe-to-toe with a knight herself without her abilities. Yeah, this is a bit of a problem. The knight count is a bit too much for LawLiet to handle, and I guess it is just too late in transitioning to chimeras. He definitely should have done it 5-10 minutes ago, because I don't even think giants are going to be enough to deal with these guys anymore. So yeah, this is just, I guess, Night Elf suffering from not so great late game comps, because yeah, bears obviously just don't seem to tank or deal enough damage against these knights. Obviously, lack of upgrades is a reason as well, but yeah, it shouldn't be this bad. Yeah, I guess this is just the downsides of a Warden playstyle. Generally, you want level 6 as quickly as possible. To do that, you kind of sacrifice a second hero slot. Obviously, some Warden players do go second hero, like Alchemist or Panda, but that does sacrifice a very high level Warden. Blink got cancelled, which I rarely see that ever happening. Her mana did get consumed as well, so I guess she cast it way too late, or she hit the sweet spot where Stormbolt actually does cancel Blink channeling. So yeah, there is going to be that. Warden dying at level 8. Almost impossible to revive her at this stage of the game, where only 1 gold mine. Probably can't afford her. I guess LawLiet is going to try his best, but level 8 is such a high cost in trying to revive. And Cheeky Knight actually going to live 4 health as well. Definitely feels bad. If that isn't the twist in the knife, I don't know what is. As
a player's forces are under attack.
Infi is just going to be building a base on the top right, where his opponent used to be. Okay, Warden did get revived through the tavern, but without mana, with half health, I really don't know what you can do. Blink is going to get cast, but all it does is pick up a red health Rifleman. We are going to have the Tree of Eternity dropping, and that is the last Town Hall structure for LawLiet.
The town is under siege.
His last question mark bear gets taken down by the Mountain King, and yep, just a one-on-one standoff here. This is where the Aura of Fire actually proves its worth in reducing the healing provided by the Vampiric Aura, but it seems like the Mountain King doesn't actually want to pick this fight. He is level 6, so he does have access to Avatar form. He could definitely beat the one-on-one if he had that, but yeah, who needs one-on-one? We can just surround the Warden with knights and the other 2 heroes. A lot of Moonwells available for the usage, but apparently not enough to restore the mana pool of the Warden. Avatar once again going to get used here. Ancient Laws being uprooted, but it's definitely not going to be enough. These knights are just so tanky. They don't even have the Sundering Blades, because obviously they didn't really face off against any normal type units. They versed bears, which are heavy armor, and even if giants got transitioned, they are still heavy armor anyway, so that upgrade was not even needed. So yeah, pretty good gameplay for both sides. Obviously, Infi just had the more well-rounded and more scalable, I guess, army comp, and LawLiet for some reason didn't actually go that high in terms of units. Apparently, he did some point get 74 supply, but I didn't see it when the major fights happened, so there's that. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Yeah, I'm not sure if I will ever get a Reforged video out, because I can't get long enough games. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Take care.